Hello friends, welcome back to DevOps Scene. In this video, we are going to learn how to create a new virtual private cloud in AWS. That means VPC. How to create a new VPC in AWS. So before creating any infrastructure in AWS, we should have some plan about infrastructure, like how many IP we want for resources, how many subnets to be created, and which availability zone or region should be used to this VPC. So let's start. So firstly, what is VPC? So VPC is a virtual network or a data center inside AWS for one client. You can specify IP address range for VPC, you can add subnets, you can associate security group, and you can configure route tables so that we can launch our AWS resources like EC2 instances within this VPC. And now so in this we require VPC with 10.0.0.0/16. Within we need to create two subnets. One is public subnet and another is private subnet. So let's start. So firstly, you can see here we are in VPC dashboard. You can see here, and in this dashboard you can see some resources by the region. You can see a VPC, subnets, route tables, internet gateway, and so on. And here you can see in service health, Amazon EC2 Asia Pacific service is operating normally. And now if you want, you can check this VPC documentation, and you can check here from here. And now we are going to create VPC. So you can see your virtual private cloud. So firstly, we need to go to this your VPC. So here you can see I have already opened a new tab. So now you can see I have already one VPC with the name VPC name, and now we are going to create new. So let's create. So click on create VPC. Then VPC settings. So firstly, we need to enter a name for our EPC. So now my VPC name will be my VPC. Then scroll down. Here you can see VPC CIDR manual input. So keep as it is. Then IPv4 CIDR. So as I told you, so we require VPC with 10.0.0.0/16. Then the next is tendency. So keep default. Then tag. So name my, so there is only one tag name. So now my name will be my VPC. So if you want another tag, then you can add from here. Now click on create VPC. So you can see the message, you successfully created VPC with the name my VPC. You can see here. So now it's successfully created. Now we are going to create internet gateway. So open in new tab. And here in VPC, click on your VPCs. So here you can see now we have two VPCs, and this is my VPC that we have just created with the name my VPC, and the state is available. So now we are going to create internet gateway. So go to the internet gateway. So here you can see, here I have already one internet gateway with the name, there is no any name in this to this internet gateway. So you can see here the VPC ID, VPC main. So you can see here VPC main. So that's the internet gateway ID. Sorry, in VPC ID. Now we are going to create new internet gateway. So click on create internet gateway. So enter name for your internet gateway. So my internet gateway name will be my IGW, internet gateway. Then if I scroll down, here you can see the name. So if you want another tag, then you can add a new tag. Now click on internet gateway. Sorry, create internet gateway. So now the following internet gateway was created, and now we are going to attach our VPC to this internet gateway. So click on actions and click on attach to VPC. So here you can see search your VPC. So you can see my VPC that we have created with the name my VPC, and now click on attach internet gateway. So internet gateway successfully attached to this VPC. So it's successfully attached. So now you can see the state attached. So now it's done. Now go to the subnets. So open in new tab. Now we are going to create subnets. So now we need to create two subnets. One is public subnet and another for private. So now let's create. So subnet is nothing but it is a range of IP address of your VPC. So now we are going to create two subnets. So now, as of now, I have three subnets. You can see here, three subnets. And you can see the VPC ID, VPC main, VPC main, VPC name, main. And now we are going to create two subnets. So click on create subnet and select your VPC. So here you can see, this is my VPC that we have created. You can see here, associate VPC CIDR. So this is a CIDR. Then VPC subnet settings. So enter your subnet name. So my subnet name is my private subnet. Wait, public subnet. Firstly, we are going to create public subnet. And then availability zone, choose the zone in which your subnet will reside, or let Amazon choose one for you. So if you want to choose, then you can choose any zone, and if you don't want, then Amazon choose one for you. So then enter IPv4. So here we are going to enter IPv4 for public subnet. So for public subnet, enter 10.0.1.0/24. Then name public subnet, then scroll down and then click on create subnet. So you can see our subnet, public subnet. Let's create one more for private. So click on create subnet, then choose VPC. So this is my VPC. Then scroll down and enter your subnet name. So this is my private subnet. Then enter CIDR blocks. So CIDR block will be 10.0.2.0/24 for private subnet. Then click on create subnet. So you can see here, we have created two subnets, private subnet and public subnet. Okay. And you can see in VPC, you can see here our VPC ID, my VPC, here, my VPC and my VPC. So, okay, it's done. Now we are going to create route tables. So open in new tab. So now by default, when you have created VPC, automatically one route table and one network access table will be created. So you can see here, if you go to the VPC and you can see here my VPC, here you can see VPC. So this is the my route table that default created. So firstly, so you can use this table itself as any one of you route table. So let's say public table. So here I will enter public table and now create route table for private. So let's create. So click on create route table, then enter name private table, then select VPC. So this is my VPC. Then scroll down and click on create route table. Okay, now it's done. Now go to the public table and now click on these routes, and here you need to edit rules, edit routes. So click on edit routes, and here you need to add one more routes. So click on add route, and here you need to enter 0.0.0.0/0. That means any IP, and here select internet gateway, and now click on save changes. Okay, updated routes. Then go to the routes, select public table, and then go to the subnet associations, and here click on edit subnet association, and then select public subnet, because this is my public subnet. Because this is my public route table, so that's why here I will select public subnet, then save associations. You are successfully updated subnets associations. Then select private route table, and here go to the routes, but here you don't need any add routes here for private table. So go to the subnet association and click on edit subnet associations, and here choose your private subnet. So this is my private subnet, and now click on save associations. Okay, now it's done. Now go to the security group. So if I scroll down, here you can see security. So firstly go to the security groups. So open link in new tab, and in this security group it is already created the default one. So let's check. So here you can see default VPC security group. So this is the default security VPC group, security group that is already created. So if I select and go to the inbound rules, this is my old security group, and here you can see this is the new one that just created when we created VPC. So now select your security group and go to the inbound rules. And inbound rules means, so inbound rules control the incoming traffic, and here you need to add one more rule. So click on edit inbound rule and click on add rule. So here search for all traffic, then here choose my IP. Okay, copy your IP. Okay, you can see here I have added one more rule, and here all traffic. Then here I will select my IP. You can see this is my IP. Then click on save rules. So you can see inbound security group rules successfully modified on security group. So okay, now the next step is go to the security and go to this network ACL. That means NACLs. And here is already created by default. So let's check. So you can see here, this is for 2 subnet and this is for 3 subnet. And if you go to the VPC ID, so this is my VPC. You can see here our VPC ID that we have created. So now this is our NACL. And now click on this NACL and go to the inbound rules. Click on edit inbound rules. And here you can see the all traffic and source is anywhere. So replace with your IP. So nobody can access your EC2 via VPC. So here replace this 0.0.0, that means anywhere. So replace with your IP. So this is my IP. Now click on save changes. That means nobody can access your EC2 via VPC. So you have successfully updated inbound rules. So okay, now let's check. So for that we need to create instance. So go to the EC2. So this is my EC2 and now click on launch instances. So let's create instance. So here I will choose this Amazon Linux 2 AMI. So click on select. Then instance type t2.micro. Then configure instance. So firstly here you can see that in network they choose default, but here this is my VPC that we have created. Then here firstly we are going to create public subnet, so that's why here I will choose public subnet. Then auto assign public IP, you need to choose enable. And you can see here in subnet 251 IP address available. Now we are going to we are going to launch instance for public subnet. So now click on add storage. Then next add tags. So add tag here public. Then configure security group, select existing security group, and this is our default security group. Now click on review and launch. Launch. Select your key pair, I acknowledge, and launch instances. Now go to the view instances. So it's pending. So now we are going to launch one more instance. Launch one more instance for private. So click on launch instance, then select AMI, then choose an instance type. Then next, configure instance details. So here select your VPC, my VPC, and here subnet, private subnet. And then after that you need to choose auto assign public IP, enable. Then next, add storage, add tags. So this instance for private. Then configure security group, select an existing and default, then launch. Now launch instance, select your key pair, then I acknowledged, and launch instances. And now view instances. So you can see here our private instance state is running, but our public instance state is running, but private is pending. So wait for few seconds. Okay, now both are running. So now copy your public IP and try to ping. So let's copy your public IP address for public instance. So let's copy public IP and go to the command prompt. And try to ping. So you can see here, I am getting replay from that EC2. You can see here. Okay. Now let's copy public IP of private instance. So copy public IP address and now try to ping. So you can see it says request timeout. So private, this is our private instance. So you will not able to access that because this is EC2 is lying on private subnet where the internet gateway is not attached. That's why it says timeout. You can see here. So that's the VPC. So in this video, we have learned how to create VPC. So thank you for watching our video. I hope you like the video and it's helpful to you. So please like, share and subscribe our DevOps channel.